Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for King Thor Issue 1, and this is just an epic start to the conclusion that we're going to get for King Thor in the future, and it's just fucking awesome. I mean, the artwork to the storytelling for what is going on, I mean, every page looks like a heavy metal album cover. It just is amazing and especially translates so well in the action sequences that we get. So we start off and we are back in Omnipotent City and we see that the Daughters of Thunder are there and they're trying to see what's around. They're kind of talking back and forth, trying to figure out what's going on, but there's not really anybody there. Though we do know that there's one person left, and Shadrach, and he is evidently the librarian that's only left there, and they are looking for a way to defeat Loki, empowered by the Null Blade, the Necro Sword, the Anile Blade. It's all of its different kind of names. The one used by Null and Gore, and he's like, that's because the story's not done yet, and they're like, come on, we gotta do something. But at that effect, we start to see that Necro Ravens have been sent and they're trying to kind of like protect him. They're like, hey, what if we get back to like Asgard or something? But he's like, no, when you left, Asgard was gone and it never will be again, as they're trying to fend off these Necro Ravens. And then we are going back and forth with what's going on with Thor and Loki. And we see that Asgard is in flames by Loki's hand, and it starts off their epic fight as they're just Thor's trying to figure out any which way to kind of resolve this. But as the fight goes on, he learns that it has come to this point that he will have to end his brother. And it's a sad kind of state of affairs because you always hold out hope for someone's redemption, but you see that Loki just doesn't give a crap anymore. He wants to take down everything and be the last living thing in the universe, as we see later on. Their battle keeps going back and forth, and they pretty much aim themselves towards this planet that doesn't have any life on it. Thor sends off Mjolnir to the closest star, and Loki's like, that's not going to help you, brother, as they're fighting. But as he has him in a kind of chokehold kind of place, Mjolnir comes back, and freaking Thor lacks it out and essentially uses his flaming hammer on the pustule kind of stuff coming out of the planet, which is like napalm, and does this giant ass explosion that looks awesome as they're flung out into the stars. But Loki still doesn't give a crap as he stabs Thor in the kind of like abdomen region and pretty much starts to try and strangle him with his own intestines, being like, yeah. And is pretty much gloating, saying that he's the one that killed Odin. And it goes to the point where Thor's like, screw that, you're a liar, I did it. And then he starts like wrapping around his own intestines around Loki and throws it into the sun, as he's explaining that like father's mind was gone, and I had him go out on this giant pyre the size of Jotunheim, because it was Jotunheim, and saying that pretty much trying to get under Loki's skin, that like Loki's the one that killed their mother because she died of a broken heart for ever believing in you, like I believed in you. And it's just fucking like, ah. It's crazy to even like describe that scene, but that is a powerful thing to have the will and determination to take your own intestines, wrap them around your brother's throat around a mystic hammer, and toss that motherfucker in the sun. But we see that Thor is still affected by this because he still loves his brother. And he goes that like, yeah, Loki was saying that he's like the god of truth, but he really isn't. He believed, because Thor had put him in this pit in Muspelheim, and he had just explained how he got out of it, how he went through all this to get the Necro Sword. And I'm thinking, okay, how did he? That's a pretty big thing to do, and how Thor doesn't really like that, and he didn't really. He still believed in Loki, and he's like, the thing is, this might not even be enough, as we see Loki blasts out of the sun saying, hey, guess what, I killed it, and now I'm going to kill your Midgard too, pretty much. And pretty much they land on Midgard, and we see that lining up kind of with this, the Daughters of Thunder have a shard of the Bifrost and are going to get out, but Shadrach is like, no, I finally remember what I'm the god of bombs, and he entrusts Elsie with the book and essentially passing on the librarian role, saying that he's the god of bombs and destroys Omnipotent City. We had seen that this had also affected Thor, pretty much giving Loki the opening to stab him in the abdomen. But we see that Thor doesn't have Mjolnir, and Loki's pretty much gloating, being like, I'll be the last thing left, and I won't even really remember you, as he's got Thor pinned down with all of these necro objects. Mjolnir is trapped in the sun, at least at the moment, but then, out of nowhere, a blade pierces Loki, and we see that someone else is talking. And since the book was about, like, the God Butcher story, and it's not over yet, we see that someone is talking over them about, like, old gods fighting as existence ends. Oh, this is why the gods need to go. And we see that it is Gore, and he has his own kind of like power back still of the Necro Sword. It's interesting. It'll be intriguing to see how that kind of pans out, if they both have the Necro Sword, if the Necro Sword was like pretty much split in two, or whatnot. I'm like, and just the shot of Gore standing there, and it's like, well, Thor was praying to the gods to save the universe and avenge the universe. It's interesting that Gore would be the one to kind of pop up here. Looks like even though King Thor had that epic battle with Doom would have been a pretty big help against a Necro Sword empowered Loki. But that wouldn't have been as effective as seeing Thor using the Thor Force to like throw him to a planet, even though it isn't enough to like take him out. But it's just really crazy, and I had a feeling that Gore would probably play a part in this, but I'm like, that was a really cool surprise, and I can't wait to see where this is going to be going next. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.